Hi, my name is Josh Grossman, and I am the mind behind the idea of Fusion Bar and Grill Restaurant. Fusion Bar and Grill offers what no other restaurant does. We feature a large and diverse menu that includes food from cultures and locations all over the world. In today's market for food and beverage, the idea that food is an experience, not just subsistence, seems to be coming back. However, your everyday dining establishments are not offering this. If you go to your local pub, you will likely get a mediocre meal and drink as they try to rush you through the entire process in order to turn their tables over more quickly. I know this process all too well, having been in the food service industry for about 5 years now, working as a chef for my summer jobs. However, I left behind my dream of being a chef because I quickly learned one thing. Restaurants don't care about the consumer experience anymore. The everyday restaurant serves generic gruel on a plate and tries to pass it off as an authentic meal. That's where Fusion Bar and Grill comes in, to throw the gruel back in their faces and give the consumers their dining experiences back. The idea of Fusion Bar and Grill was created just 3 months ago when I realized that the food service industry as a whole is broken because it has been lacking authenticity and heart. When I was creating the business model for Fusion Bar and Grill, I made a few assumptions about what the industry is lacking as a whole and where Fusion Bar and Grill will fill those gaps our competition simply cannot. The first thing I needed to validate is that people still wanted to dine out and how often they like to do so in order to justify opening a business in the food service industry. The second assumption I made is that exotic, unusual, or unique foods that utilize fresh ingredients are becoming a fad as of late, and offering a large and diverse menu will bring more customers through my doors. Finally, I assumed that I needed to bring my experiences from traveling the world and learning about different cultures into the restaurant and share that experience with my customers through the food that I'm serving and the atmosphere within the establishment so that my customers can better engage in the multicultural experience that is Fusion Bar and Grill. This is a business model canvas that I created when I first came up with the idea for Fusion Bar and Grill. It includes all of the assumptions that I just presented. Once I had my initial assumptions and the business model canvas created, I had to come up with and implement ways to test those assumptions. To test my initial assumptions, I set up a survey on Google Consumer Surveys. With help from my fellow students, I crafted optimal survey questions that would give me information needed to validate or disprove my initial assumptions. I gathered information from over 250 participants that fit into the assumed target market of 23 to 50-year-olds who are married or single with disposable income to spend on dining out. The first question our survey needed to address was how often people dine out within specified target market. Just briefly glancing at the chart, you can see most respondents only dine out once a week. However, it is very important to note that this chart lets me know that almost 82% of our participants dine out at least once or more a week. This data gives me reassurance that I will have a large enough customer base to keep my doors open. Although this chart verifies that people still dine out and enjoy it, I feel as though I have overestimated this category, which prompts me to go back into my business model in order to make edits to reflect this new information. For example, under Key Resources, instead of pursuing a location that holds 200 people, I only need one that holds 100 people. I will also be launching a second survey to find out which days of the week my target market prefers to dine out. Once I have that information, I can use it to better control my inventory purchasing, and I will be able to schedule my staff better, cutting costs off of my payroll. In order to be creative and original, I designed a menu that incorporates food from around the world. I assumed that this would solve the consumer's pain of always having the same generic food experience. That is, you go out to eat and get served bland food with no heart or meaning behind it, leaving the customer with just another ordinary meal that they could have cooked on their own for half the price. To assess whether or not I had a successful business model, I asked my target market if they would dine at my establishment after viewing a small sample menu. I crafted this question after conducting a smaller survey at Quinnipiac University, asking students to list their 2 favorite and 2 least favorite items from my complete menu. From those responses, the duck egg rolls and Moroccan fried chicken were the 2 most popular favorites, while the Caribbean red snapper fritters and the traditional Colombian arepas were the 2 least favorite. After reviewing the information gathered from this question, I am happy to say that I only need a slight pivot. Overall, people are not only willing to try my unique menu, but they seem excited about it as well. However, I have found that a small group of respondents would not eat at my establishment because the food was just too unique or too exotic for them. So this is where I'm going to pivot. I will edit my menu to offer more American selections, such as an all-American hamburger. This will entice more customers to dine at my establishment, knowing they don't have to leave their culinary comfort zone if they choose not to. I take food very seriously, and as you can tell thus far from my presentation, food is so much more to me than just substance. I treat it more as artwork. It is the only way I know how to take my experiences and share them with other people. However, I am not sure if my target market is actively seeking a multicultural dining experience, which prompted me to include this question within my survey. As you can tell from the chart, we have mixed results. The positive that I take away from this chart is that about 78% of people responded with a number between 3 and 7, meaning that more likely than not they would try my establishment. However, the negative that I take away is that 22% of people are not willing to try my establishment even once. The pivot that I need to make to address this is gathering more information. I need to find out why or why not these people chose not to dine at my establishment after reading the description. For example, if I found out they chose not to because fine dining gives them the sense of an over-the-top, expensive, and extravagant meal, then I can expand my bar menu while shrinking my entree menu, allowing me to offer less expensive options. After completing the research on my initial assumption, this is my updated business model canvas. It reflects all of the pivots that I previously discussed. The notes that are colored green are changes that I definitely support based off of the information I found. For instance, after reviewing my survey results, I realized I overestimated the amount of people that would be coming into my establishment on a nightly basis. Finding this out allowed me to go back into my canvas and adjust my key resources section to reflect that I need to find a smaller location since I won't be serving as many people as originally thought. Finally, I would like to direct your attention to the notes that are colored red. These are the areas that I need to gather more information on in order to be in a better position to answer those questions. Like I previously stated, the idea for Fusion Bar and Grill is brand new, leaving little time to gather more information than I already have. Meaning that in order to fully understand my market, I just need to gather slightly more information by implementing 2 or 3 more surveys. I am Josh Grossman, and Fusion Bar and Grill is my way of starting a revolution against bad dining establishments by offering exotic and unique foods that utilize only the freshest and most delicious ingredients. Thank you, and have a great day.